All right, now we're going to see how we can use functions to input variable expressions. So just to recap, we have seen how we can use a function to find the f of x value if we are given an x value already. So if I give you the function f of x equals 2x plus 1, and I want you to find f of 3, then everywhere you see an x, you plugged in your 3. So 2x plus 1, to find f of 3, I did 2 times 3 plus 1 and got 7. So I inputted a value, I outputted a value. We can do the same thing by plugging in variable expressions. So instead of seeing something like f of 2, or f of 3, or f of negative 14, we can be given f of n plus 1, this variable expression. So before, when we had f of 2, that meant x equals 2, so everywhere you saw an x, you plugged in a 2. And then you simplified and got out a value for your output. So value input should mean value output. Value input means value output. The same thing works with expressions, except value input, value output. Variable expression input, expression output. So your final answer won't be just a simple number. Your final answer should have variables in it still. You should make a new function, basically, is what's happening. So in this problem, if I want to find f of n plus 1, that means x is n plus 1. So everywhere we had an x in our function, we're now going to plug in n plus 1. And then we're still going to simplify. We maybe have to distribute or combine like terms, something like that, to simplify our answer to get a new function. So if we take our f of x equals 2x plus 1, get rid of that 0. That should say plus 1, 2x plus 1. And we're going to use this f of n plus 1. So everywhere we have an x, we're going to input n plus 1. So 2x plus 1 becomes 2 parentheses n plus 1, because that's my input. And then plus 1 at the end, because I still had a plus 1. So now I look at that, and this is an expression you have seen before. What should you do here? You should distribute so that you get 2 times n is 2n, 2 times 1 is 2, and you still have a plus 1. Now look at that. What do you do here? Well, I have a plus 2 and a plus 1, and those are like terms. So I keep my 2n, but 2 plus 1 is 3. So f of n plus 1 simplifies to be 2n plus 3. That is basically a new function that you created. So remember, value input, value output. But expression input, expression output. The only time you won't get an expression is if maybe somehow your variables canceled each other out back whenever you could combine like terms. But for the most part, if you have variables in your parentheses in for your input, you should have variables in your output.